Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of TotemCast. My name is Lucario, and I'm going to fill you in on some pretty cool things that has happened in the last couple of weeks. Well, with lore walking out, we have been able to take advantage of it in multiple different ways. One of them, including was the ability to go do world bosses of old that we haven't been able to do at level 30. And that includes the entirety of Mista Pandaria. So we started off at the Timeless Isle, and we did all the August Celestials. We moved our way up to Orados, which was awesome because I don't think anybody's ever done it before. So I've looked it up, I couldn't find any information on it. So it was, well, I guess you could say it was a world first. And I was very stoked about that, honestly. I thought it was really badass that we were able to accomplish that. If you don't know, back in Mop Remix, you were able to get the cloak as a toy. So if you remember the legendary cloak with the visuals of the August Celestials, you could get all 4 toys and you can use them. So when you use them, it gives you the ability to get over to Orados's area, which back in the day you could only get over there if you had the cloak. So with that being said, a lot of us had the cloak, so we were able to get over. Not everyone was able to make it, sadly, so, that kind of sucks. It would have been nice if everyone would have been there, but, I mean, hey, you can't win it all, right? So we all got over, or most of us got over there, and Orados was actually pretty difficult. We did drop him after a couple attempts, but, it was still a really cool fight. It was a fight that I never got to experience back in MoP, because all I did is PvP. So I never really did the legendary questline. Actually, I even remembered not even knowing about it. I just logged on one day and there was somebody with the back piece, or the the little celestial effect that comes out of the back, and I was just like, the hell is that? So when Mop Remix was coming out, the August Celestial toys was pretty much my top priority. I really wanted it. And I'm very happy that it became a toy, so that was a big W for Blizzard's End. But I never got to experience Orados. I always just sat in Timeless Isle hearing him yell, and always wondered what was across that bridge. I've tried to get over there many times. It would always just throw me back because it's like a gust of wind or something. So it was pretty surreal, I guess. It was always something I always wanted to know, and I never looked it up on YouTube, so I had no idea what the fight was like, what the format was, the stadium, everything. I had no idea. All I knew about Orados is what he looked like in the dungeon journal, so that was a really cool moment for me, and I'm glad we got to experience that together as a community. But then, we didn't stop there. We also went and did the other world bosses as well. We did Galleon, Shaw of Anger, Nalik, Undasta. I mean, hell, we even went and did the Well Shark from Cataclysm. It was a cool time. I don't remember if this was brought up in a previous episode, but we also went to Argus, which was really cool. We did the invasion points. We killed some rares in the greater invasion point, which is really difficult to do. So, that was a real big, awesome moment for us. I'm loving lore walking. It gives the ability to do all kinds of crazy things that, we haven't been able to have access to. And all it really does is add more content to the level 30 bracket. So, for me, this is just a colossal W. I mean, hell, we can even have access to the Jailer's Gauntlet, which is very difficult, by the way. So, if anybody actually completes that, I think you deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, because I went in there and I got completely bodied. And I know people have been working on it, so I'm not 100% sure if people have actually completed it. I need to double check. But if I find out anybody has and they have evidence and proof of doing so, I will include them in our Hall of Fame. But, it doesn't just stop there. There was something else that we found out, and something I was very excited to do. Very happy to try to do this. So all the way back in Shadowlands, I've been making this joke about, man, it would be cool if we could go into the Firelands. Oh, the Firelands would be really cool. You get, a legendary item there, or a questline at least, or you could, get some mastery gear. The Firelands, a big flashy fire escaped. It's basically Molten Core 2.0. It was something I was really looking forward to. And with lore walking, we actually found out you can do the Firelands. I'm not going to explain the details because it's exploiting, but we were able to get in, and we tested a couple things out. I had somebody go and document how much health all the mobs had, and, that's where it started the gameplay. So, I told a very few select people that, hey, I want you guys involved with this, and then I started reaching out to some other people, and it became a pretty good effect, or pretty good little progressive effect. I don't know how to word it, but you know what I'm talking about. I kept teasing that we were going to have a secret raid all week. I had a lot of people ask me, like, well, what are we doing? I need to know if I need to take off work. And I'm like, just if you want to be a part of it, be there. That's all I'm going to say. I can't give you any details. I had people trying to guess at it. I had one guy get mad at me for hoarding secrets, and I'm just like, I'm not going to say any names, of course, but I'm over here just like, dude, it's not a big deal, but it's going to be really cool. So if you want to come, I implore you to be here on Saturday. I had people ask me, when am I going to make the announcement? Some people didn't even understand it was Saturday, because I guess me saying Saturday means Sunday, but I don't know, time zones are weird. I got to remember that going forward. And the moment came about, I think it was like 2 or 3 hours before the raid was even going to begin. I made the announcement, hey, we are going to go into the Firelands. And that is exactly what we did, and it was amazing. It was absolutely fucking spectacular. We got in, we had, I believe, 26 people show up for this. It's not even our biggest raid night we've had, but it was still like one of the biggest raids we've ever had. And it was absolutely, in my opinion, the best raid we've ever had. It had a nice amount of difficulty. It had a nice amount of just challenge. Like, I don't know. I'm still giddy about it. It's been like 15, 16, 17 hours since we did it, and I'm still just kind of like, yo, that was legendary. It was without a doubt the most legendary raid night I think Legacy 30 has ever had since the Lich King fight. And that was a big hype moment. I feel like this is probably on par with that. And it's only because of the fact that it actually outscales what we're supposed to be able to handle, and we were able to handle it. It was really cool seeing the casters, because that was my thing. If you know us, if you know me, I always tell people, play what you want, bring what you want to the raid. It doesn't matter, just have fun. I never care about metas. I never care about people pushing to be the best. I feel like that's actually anti-productive for what we do as a community. I feel like you should just come in and have fun, not try to outperform everybody. And I know there are some people that like to do that. And I mean, it's no dig at them, of course. I mean, people play how they want to play, and that's what I encourage. But this was that one time where I asked people to please bring something that's actually decent. I don't want a bunch of rogues in here, Death Knights, just stuff like that. Please bring something good. And everyone did, for the most part. However, something that we did not take into account was the fact that since the Firelands outscales level 30, because it is not a level 30 raid, by the way, so those of you who are listening who don't understand this and just think like, okay, you did the Firelands, it's not for level 30. This is beyond their level bracket. So with that being said, there is a hit rating, apparently, that still exists in the game. So mobs were not getting hit by spells. So all of our spellcasters were, I'm not saying you guys were useless, but unfortunately, you were kind of useless, because even the demon hunters were doing more damage than the casters. And I'm not saying this in any kind of like mean way, of course. It was actually really funny finding this out, because if I would have known, I would have just planned more accordingly to have melee come into this, and things probably would have went a lot more simpler. I know everyone likes to play the meta classes, and everyone wants to play Shadow Priest or Evoker. And hey, I get it. You want to just do the maximum damage. And this would have been one of those opportunities for you to do so. However, clever game mechanics, unintentionally made by Blizzard for, allowing people like our level bracket to exist in this level bracket of doing this raid, it did not work out in that way. So, yeah, it was pretty funny. I'm over here casting spells thinking I'm actually doing something, like outside of healing, because I'm playing Disc Priest for this event. Somebody had the bright idea of saying, hey, we should have some Disc Priests in for the shielding, and I thought, hey, I have a pretty jacked up, geared up Disc Priest, so why not? With Valnir. So I brought him in, and I'm doing a pretty good job keeping our main tank alive. Druidman and Pet Me were our tanks tonight. They were fantastic. Druidman raid led the charge. You know, he used to be our raid leader a long time ago, and he didn't want to raid lead anymore, but I'm very happy and pleased that he was able to come back and raid lead for this. He outdid anything Duty has done, and this is no dig at Duty, but I kind of feel like if Duty was leading this charge, it wouldn't have went as well as it did. Druidman did a I can't even put enough phrase on it. It was a fantastic job. It was coherent. I was able to keep up. I'm not really known to be mechanically inclined. This is why I'm pretty bad at raids. It's just kind of like a joke. I just come because I want to hang out. Even though I run everything, I'm not a raider by any means. But I was able to understand everything, and it was just, everything was just perfect. It was icing on the cake. This is, without a doubt, my favorite raid we've ever done. Straight up. Pet Me did a fantastic job, too. She trained a lot on target dummies and soloing challenges to learn how to play Demon Hunter. Her Vengeance Demon Hunter did a really good job. Unfortunately, some of the taunting didn't work because, again, the content outscaled us. But we did it. We did it. And we had Shudak come in. I mean, yeah, they're part of Legacy 30 now, too. But, you know, hey. But it's still cool to see the Shudak guys come in. Just everybody. This was like the most Avengers Endgame portal scene moment for Legacy 30. Where like everybody showed up, everybody came through, everyone came in clutch, and we secured it. After 3 hours of raiding, we were able to get to Ragnaros, and Ragnaros proved to be the most challenge. Out of everybody, I believe we wiped on him the most. Mechanics weren't that hard, it was just, you know, hey, people died. And then we secured, we killed him, and yes, I know people killed Ragnaros before. I know this isn't new. I know people killed Ragnaros all the way back in like 2010 or 2011, whenever Firelands came out. I do understand that people did it again in Cata Classic. But for a level 30 bracket, this is a world first. No one has ever done this before. No one has probably ever tried to do this before. I'm pretty confident in that one. We're pretty much the entirety of the 30 bracket. There are other people that do. There are other people that do level 30 content. There's some stragglers out there in the world who don't even know about us, and we find them every so often. There's other people that try to do their own groups. It's not like Legacy 30 though. Like we did what I would never have thought we could accomplish a few years ago, but we pulled it through. Everyone that did it got world first. I've recorded everybody in our Hall of Fame. These are the new gods. Everyone that showed up last night are just the literal gods of the community. I'm beyond proud. Even Sosta, our EU GM, he came and made sure he was there for this raid night. This man lives on the other side of the world. It was like 6 a.m. for him. He hadn't been asleep yet, and he pulled through. And I'm just happy everyone showed up. This was a good time, and I could not be more prouder of everybody. I even celebrated, like, afterwards. I had a good night with talking to the guys. You know, when the raid night was over, a lot of people dipped out. Other people stayed in call. We talked all night long. It was a good time. It was just... I know I'm, like, gushing over it, but I've been gushing about it all night. Like, I laid in bed after I got out of Discord, and I just watched the whole thing again. I stayed up really late last night just watching the whole raid. It was just such a surreal moment. It was a good time. Everybody deserves this W, and I'm proud of everybody. There's more to come, of course. There's definitely more things we can do. I believe we're only scratching the surface of what lore walking allows. Hopefully Blizzard doesn't change it anytime soon, and if they do, that's gonna suck, but hey, at least I can say that we got world first. So... it's not the first world first we've had. We've had multiple world firsts, but this is definitely in the top 3 for me. Like, maybe it's even number 1. I don't know. Like I said, I had the most fun with this as a raid, I think, in a long time. It was the right amount of challenging, the right amount of fun, the right amount of stressfulness, and just everyone had a good time. I'm proud. I'm happy to say that. So, I mean, I don't really have... I guess too much more I can say about this. This is going to be kind of like a short TotemCast. I'm just talking about some of the cool things we've done. Oh yeah, I guess I could bring this one up too. So we tested out a raid race challenge. This has been something people have been talking about for a couple of years now, since we started our dungeon tournaments, people wanted to have raid tournaments. And the whole reason I said no to that was you can't really practice it, and you also got to know like what raids can we even speedrun like that in the groups of 5. And yeah, I wanted them to be like at least groups of 4, but groups of 5 seems to be good. At the most anyways, you know. Like a solid 5-man group for speedrun clears. Like I want people to have their actual teams, like an actual team, like a permanent actual team, and then just practice and record your speedruns, and then maybe we can document it and, I don't know, do like a tournament later on. But we tested it out with Karazhan, and it was something I wanted to try, because I know Karazhan's not too hard, but it is a fun, iconic raid. And more people showed up than I was expecting. I was just expecting like maybe 8 people, but we had like close to 15, I think, which is, hey, it's cool. We had multiple teams, and yeah, we raced it, and I mean, we didn't like practice for this, and we didn't like fairly assign teams. It was just more of like, you take this person, you take this person. I guess I'll take these 2. You know, it was just like one of those things. No dig on anybody. I know I worded that weird, but it was no dig at anybody at all. So I'm sorry if that's how it sounded. I didn't mean it like that. But yeah, we got the people, and we started the countdown, and we went. You know, my team came in last, but that's okay. I kind of thought we were going to come in 2nd place, in all honesty, but, you know, again, the comps weren't picked out properly. Nobody, like, really planned this out accordingly, but this is a good test because it lets me know that we can do this, and it can be entertaining. So, with that being said, there might be some future things I might do with this information that I have about it now. I guess we're going to have to find out. I will be definitely talking to Starship, because I know they wanted... Like, they tried to pitch this idea at one point as well, and I kind of turned it down. But I think it's doable now. So with that being said, this is that's a good, big moment. Something I want to plan in the future is I want to do a tier list. I've been talking about this for God knows how long. But I want like an actual DPS, an actual healing tier list, and an actual tank tier list. Like, we have one on our Discord. But when Duty and Druidman were making that tier list, they did it on like what's valuable to a raid opposed to like an actual tier list. It's like, it's not a bad thing that they did that, but nobody really cares about that kind of stuff, because we already know what a mage brings. They bring food, and they bring intellect buff, or, you know, just stuff like that. Everyone already knows this. However, what people usually want to know when they join the community is what classes are fun to play, what classes do enough damage, that kind of thing. What's the best healer? That's what people want to know. So I figured, why not a tier list? And tier lists are good content. People make tier list videos all the time. They get a lot of views. It's a good way to generate attention to your channel or your project, whatever you're doing. So I kind of want to take advantage of that as well. Our last tier list video that we did, which is the one I was just referring to, actually did pretty well. We actually got some people coming in. They came and checked us out because of it, and some of them still here and play. Or are still here playing, I should say. So it's not a bad idea to do it again. I definitely love to draw as much attention to this channel as I can. The bigger this channel becomes, the bigger we become. More attention comes to us, more people interested in playing with us, more friends we make along the way, more fun and activities that can be had. And, you know, advertisements like my main priority. I want this community to grow as big as possible, but I want us to remain with the identity that we have. I love making new friends that come and join and play with us. I love people coming and doing raid content with us for the first time ever. And they get to see, like, hey, the game doesn't always have to be about just playing patch by patch with max level. You can go and play at a lower level and still enjoy the old world and still have plenty of stuff to do and make new friends along the way. It's been kind of my goal with this community the entire time. I guess one last thing I will point out is I revived an old challenge that we did back in Shadowlands called The Strongest Melee. So what that challenge was is just you do a speed race to 200,000 damage on a target dummy. It was just me and another guy named Daki, both of us monks, funny enough. I defeated Daki, and the whole reason I wanted to do this is because Daki said his monk was better than my monk. So I said, okay, well, he's built for burst damage, I'm built for sustained damage with procs. And that was my whole ideology is, well, once you do your burst, yeah, you're going to do a lot of damage, but I'm going to catch up to you eventually. And I did. So I recorded this from a couple years ago, and then we did another one back in Dragonflight, which was me, him, and another person. And Daki won his crown back, which is cool. And my good friend Fate was wanting to revive this challenge. He wanted to... Fate's whole thing is he wants to be the best of like everything for whatever reason. It's what drives him, it's what fuels him, and you know, I respect it, I understand it. Some people are just like that, they're wired different, they have something that they have to prove, and I don't always agree with that because I don't think that you should be trying to prove anything, just have fun with it. But that's not the case for most people. Most people just want to show off. They want bragging rights, they want like an award or something, so he wanted to do it again. He wanted to just go off and say he was the strongest melee, and I told him it doesn't work that way. You have to actually dethrone the previous one. And he brought up some good points, like, well, what if the person just quits playing? Like, yeah, I can understand that. However, that's not how this works. You have to dethrone him. But then I made a compromise with him that we will do it by expansion. So, you know, hey, whatever. That means I was the strongest in Shadowlands. Daki was the strongest in Dragonflight. As of right now, Fate is currently the strongest in the War Within. Who knows, maybe one of us will dethrone him. I just have to re-gear my Windwalker. And I could probably do it. Like, I do pretty crazy damage on Lucario whenever I actually want to take it serious. And, I mean, who knows? We'll have to see, of course, but, you know, that's just my thing. It's a fun little challenge if you haven't. If you want to come try it, all you have to do is just race us, except now with the damage scaling we have to go to 500k. But I think it's worth it if you can just do it. I mean, you never know. If you win, you'll be recorded in the Hall of Fame, so, like, why not? A leaderboard. I'm sorry, this one's on the leaderboard, but you know what I mean. We have some other stuff, too. I mentioned earlier that PetMe was doing the Astronaut Target Dummy Challenge. Some other people are doing that one, too. You just attack the dummy. I'll go in more detail on this one in a future podcast episode, but, like, you just attack the dummy and you try to build up as many stacks as you can without dying. And it's per tank, per healer. There's no DPS variant of this one. The DPS one is going to be the strongest melee challenge. So it is different. But the tank one, you just try to see how many stacks you accumulate before you finally die, and then this is per type of tank. So like Blood DK has their own one, Prot Pally has their own one. And then once you get as high as you can, it will be documented. So there are some pretty crazy numbers on there. Druid Man has got the highest on the Brewmaster Monk because the man is a genius. He is a wizard, and he was able to figure this out. You can get any buffs you want. It's a personal challenge, and it also makes you a better tank. And this is how some people have learned how to tank. This is how I'm learning how to tank right now, doing it on my Blood DK. There's also a healer version, which is the same thing, except you just heal yourself while you take the hits and see how far you can push it. I think I still am the #1 Mistweaver. I'd have to go back and look. I haven't taken the challenge serious, though, so I could definitely beat my old record. Like, I think I just did it just to record the number, just to document it. I didn't want to go all in on it, but I feel like it's time. Like, I should reclaim my crown if I lost it, or just keep the crown put away if I still have it. Like I said, I've said this so many times, like, level 30 is a sandbox. You can just make your own content and do all kinds of crazy things, and if you get people interested, they'll want to do it with you, and then you can create, like, really iconic moments and just good memories, and that's the entire point. This is what I love about this community, and I'm very happy that we're still here, and I'm very happy that we're still doing crazy things like Firelands. So on that note, I'm going to go ahead and end this episode of TotemCast. If you've made it this far, please leave a like, subscribe, and I will see everybody in the next one. Congratulations, everybody. Goodbye.